Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be another Canadian Soldier Reacts video, and today we're going to be looking at the U.S. Army received most advanced new combat goggles from Microsoft. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know I'm a former Canadian soldier, 12 years in the 1st Battalion of the Royal Canadian Regiment, which at the time was one of Canada's very few SSF battalions. But what you may or may not know is that I also was the program manager for Windows reliability at Microsoft out in Seattle or Redmond for 8 years. So I actually may have some minor connection to this. So let's take a look. 10th Mountain.
What formerly belonged to the realm of science fiction has become a reality for soldiers, with advances enabling them to fight and win with next-generation technology.
It sounds interesting.
Recently, the U.S. Army accepted delivery of the first 20 prototypes of the Integrated Visual Augmentation System 1.2, or IVAS.
So, what some of you may know is that Microsoft, when I got there, I got to Microsoft in 2013, they were working on a product called the HoloLens. And I think they tried to market it in some capacity or another. And it didn't really become terribly commercially viable. In fact, everyone was trying to go for virtual reality, augmented reality back at the time. And most of them didn't do well. I actually was one of the, so Microsoft puts out these kind of all calls to their employees. When I get to Redmond, there were over 50,000 people on the campus, and I think there were nearly double that when I left Redmond. Like a lot of people. And there was actually a testing team that was over in, I think it was like building 110 or something, the building that had the store in it, over by the studios. And I volunteered a couple of times, and I went in and I tried out the HoloLens. The first thing that the HoloLens did when you put it on is it calibrated itself to the room. And basically what it did is I guess there was some, I don't know what was in the tech, I'll be honest with you, but it mapped out the area around you, and it did it very, very accurately. So much so that 5 or 6 years later, I found out that even though the commercial direction that they wanted to go wasn't really doing well, they actually saw some success with the construction industry, because someone could put this thing on and then look at a space, and it would not only map out that space in 3 dimensions, but it would give perfect distances, perfect measurements of everything. And then they could simply just press a button, send that back to their computer. And what guys were doing with that was actually 3D modeling in a perfectly measured space for countertops and stairs and cupboards, cabinets, things like that. So that kind of technology, I think, would be useful to the soldier, depending on how far it can go, but basically being able to map out the battlefield for you and know the distances to everything, and a few more things we'll probably get into.
S1.2 variant. The milestone is the latest step in getting the most advanced version of the situational awareness system into the hands of soldiers.
Situational awareness. Very cool.
Microsoft delivered the 20 prototypes to Project Manager Soldier Warrior, the program office within the Program Executive Office Soldier, responsible for overseeing the development.
Here are the top 3 dirty self-defense.
I think I've said this before, I really hate those commercials sometimes.
On December 20th, 2022, the U.S. Army awarded a task order to Microsoft Corporation to develop the 1.2 variant of the integrated visual augmentation
So I'm seeing a
system.
lot of different patches on these guys. So they've got people from every
This task order is the latest step in the process that
unit.
began
Yeah,
in March
10th Mountain. I
2021,
saw
when the
All
Army
Americans. I
awarded
saw
Microsoft a firm fixed price
Old Ironsides.
other transaction authority production agreement to manufacture IVAS. Under that agreement, the Army envisioned improving the system through an iterative process, and this task order will provide improvements based on completed test events.
I'd be interested to know how they could improve firing. I mean, if you had, it looks like they've got a camera or maybe even a mile system on there. Yeah, if you had a laser sight, and so one of the things that these things can do, any things like this honestly can do, is night vision and possibly even heat vision, thermal vision. We had a lot of optics that could do both night and thermal vision, although they were pretty big. But night vision definitely, basically light enhancement. That light enhancement lets you see the laser dots a lot better. So if they can set up a system where from 100, 200, 300 meters that you can see the placement of that dot, right, through grouping and zeroing, like in the daytime, I mean, through grouping and zeroing, the computer could actually move that dot to be where you're hitting. And then when you're looking through this augmented reality, it could literally just put a green dot where your weapon was going to fire. Like if you had a camera mounted, which maybe this could be, which would mean then that you could literally stand around a corner, put your weapon out, put your dot where you want it to be, fire, and hit what you're trying to hit without ever really exposing yourself, which would be very cool.
IVAS is a single platform that features an all-weather fighting goggle and a mixed reality heads-up display that integrates next-generation situational awareness tools and high-resolution simulations to provide soldiers with improved mobility and
Situational awareness. And this is another thing that I find interesting. So if you've got a section of guys or a platoon of guys or a company of guys and you're doing an attack, okay, and I'm just talking an infantry company right now, okay, if you're doing an attack and every one of them has one of these on, each one of the headsets knows where the other headset is, so they know their positions. They're all mapping out the terrain in front of you, and if they're able to do threat detection, the guy over on the right-hand side who detects these threats that maybe the guys in the middle or the left-hand side can't see, those headsets could talk to each other and they could put up an augmented reality threat image so that everybody would always know what everybody is seeing. That is a fantastic idea. And then if you could then integrate those into other systems like tanks or helicopters or drones or even satellites, and you could get, I mean, you're talking a lot of computational power here now. Like I'm kind of going into the realm of science fiction just a little bit, but it's not too many steps away from where we are today. I mean, it's the computing power that's the real problem with this, but I could see this being a game changer.
and lethality during the day or at night. IVAS provides soldiers with a single device to fight, rehearse, and train.
Training.
This is a really big deal for the program, said Colonel Anthony.
Oh, that's
Fields,
interesting too.
PM SWAR. A little over a year ago, we did an
Third Ranger
test
Battalion.
with version 1.0 of the system. We learned a lot. We got a lot of good soldier feedback. So, last summer, we came back and restructured the program. We took those lessons learned,
Iterative
all that
development, that's
soldier
good.
feedback, and in less than a year, have what we now call version 1.2
Okay,
of the
one
system.
second. I just want to go back there for a second. What's this guy pointing at? When adherence to drills goes horribly wrong.
And, in less than a year, have what we now call version 1.2 of the system. The IVAS is designed for dismounted, close combat force soldiers to integrate key technology systems into one device, enhancing situational awareness.
If one guy catches that, and he doesn't even, if you've got good threat detection algorithms on this, he doesn't even need to see it himself, right? If the computer sees it and catches it, they can pop up in everybody, hey, there's a possible threat over here. And maybe you have some way for the guys to verify and or override that, but oh man, this could be a game changer.
Lethality, survivability, maneuverability.
Today,
it's interesting just how many commercials are on these things. Wow. And you're probably even getting commercials from mine. I've noticed, even though my channel's not monetized yet, I've noticed there are commercials playing on mine too. So, yay.
And other warfighter capabilities, to include synchronization with soldiers in armored vehicles and
there you
helicopters.
Go. Oh, man.
IVAS provides soldiers with a field of view nearly twice as wide as those offered by current systems. It is capable of navigation and passive target interrogation, which allows users to identify targets without being seen by opposing forces.
Dude, this could be so great.
Will use IVAS to
these guys are all
10th
10th Mountain.
Operational environment better. Its enhanced low light and thermal sensors improve target identification. IVAS integrates with ground and
you got
air
multiple
sensors, allowing
ranks
soldiers
too
to see outside vehicles before dismounting into a hazardous situation.
Oh my
IVAS
God.
provides 3D mapping and navigation capabilities and can ingest data from unmanned aerial vehicles.
I love it.
IVAS complements what's currently in the Army's inventory while expanding close combat force capabilities by leveraging the digital architecture for shared awareness and computing at the edge, said Lieutenant Colonel Denny Dresch, Product Manager, IVAS.
Okay, I'm just going to jump ahead here. They're starting to repeat themselves. Give me a second. I'm going to take a look at this, and I may or may not continue this. Yeah, okay, so they're just saying the same things over and over again now. So if this works, and let's be clear, Microsoft, well, they're not the only company, but lots of companies do this, but Microsoft has a tendency to oversell sometimes. If they can get this to work, this is an absolute game changer. I mean, the way they're talking, it looks like it's working now, but who knows, right? You never know with these videos. But I know that they have the basic technology because I've seen it. I've worked with it. I've worked with some of the HoloLens guys as the program manager for Windows Reliability. I actually got to see all of the bug reports in Microsoft. Now, granted, that's literally in the billions. I'll tell you about all of that sometime. So, I mean, I don't know everything that's going on. We dealt with things in the aggregate, but I definitely dealt with the HoloLens guys on more than one occasion. And there are always bugs to work out here, but the basic technology is absolutely available if they can get it all working together and they can get enough computing power and communications, right? Because these things need real-time communication on the battlefield, and that communication can't be hackable or interruptible, right? Because if you get starting to rely on this and then they interrupt it, the enemy interrupts it, so it brings out a whole new host of issues. But I got to tell you, the possibility of this for the modern battlefield is exciting. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it today. So that's a Canadian Soldier Reacts. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it lets you know when I put new content out. And leave a comment because I love the conversations that are happening down below. So thanks, guys. See you next time.